All right, this is John Krasinski, Mark Goodman. This is the Pittsburgh Soccer Now coverage crew. The Pittsburgh Riverhounds have pulled it off. The MLS cup set here at Highmark Stadium. It was an incredible atmosphere. Everybody was wearing white except for us. But
we're on brand. We're on brand.
1-0. The Hounds hung on. We just got through some press conferences, talked to really all a lot of the key people. Bob Lilly, obviously, Wilfried Nance, I can never pronounce that properly.
You said it beautifully.
And then, of course, Robbie Mertz and we also heard from Jamali Waite. So a lot of happy people in Pittsburgh. What a night for soccer in Pittsburgh, wasn't it?
6,000 plus fans in attendance, all-time highest attendance at a Riverhounds game, including I think the 2 playoff games that I've been here for, which was really impressive. The crowd was really rocking from beginning to end. Everybody dressed in white. The home team was in white, and a whiteout atmosphere. Steel Army at their end were making it really difficult for their goalkeeper to focus on the game, and completely lost their minds with the referee at the appropriate moments, and that was a really enjoyable thing. I'll just say tactically, and then John, I'll throw it to you to see some tactical observations you had. But Columbus came out. They wanted to possess. They, I think by the end of the game, won possession 70-30. In the first half, they moved the ball really slowly. They really just wanted to hang on to it and kind of bleed the energy out of the crowd, bleed the energy out of the Riverhounds. But, that was not the story that the Riverhounds wanted to write. They got the goal in the first half. Then they met the energy in the second half, hung on to win it despite even a late red card by...
Edward Kiza.
Yeah, Edward Kiza, who gave his guy a shove, and it looked like there wasn't much in it, but ultimately the ref saw it another way. John, what did you see in this game that you thought was highlightable?
Yeah, I think, Bob Lilly talked before the game about wanting to disrupt Columbus's possession, knew that they were so good at keeping it away and could really make the opponent work. They didn't want to chase the game as much. And, I think the Hounds found their moments, and they absolutely had to take advantage of it. And Albert Dikwa, all year long has been doing that. And once again, a mistake in the middle of the field, Robbie Mertz capitalizes, pounces on the ball near midfield, and finds that through ball. And that's inexplicable from an MLS side, maybe, to have the center backs be that spread out for Dikwa to cut through there. But again, the Hounds took advantage. They disrupted it enough. It caused enough disruption to get the lone goal in the match. And there were moments though where I kept thinking maybe the Hounds should push more. Mm-hmm. And there were opportunities there for taking to make that 2-0, maybe even before the end of the half and the beginning of the second half. So they take their chances by getting late in the last 10 minutes and dealing with some of that Columbus pressure. But I think this is a mentally tough team. I think they've weathered a couple storms early in the season. They've had some difficult situations late in matches, giving up goals. But tonight, with the crowd pushing them on, I think they were mentally prepared for that moment. I really felt like they handled it really well.
Yeah, facing 2 MLS teams, one back-to-back against another in U.S. Open Cup, a must-win situation, and they shut both teams out. They didn't look all that challenged. They definitely were under pressure in the final 10 minutes, and that's a place where lesser teams break. These Riverhounds don't break. They don't run. They feel comfortable. I think the other thing that I noticed throughout the game was just they had more energy. They were attacking those what Bob calls second balls, but when a ball is kind of in a no man's land and a player has a shot to go for it, the Riverhounds players were there first. Robbie Mertz, Mark Dos Santos,
Absolutely.
Mark Ibarra, Danny Griffin specifically, in my mind, were really just covering more ground per minute, per second, per meters squared, or however you want to measure it, than I would have otherwise expected. So an impressive performance all around for the Riverhounds, both mentally and physically.
Absolutely, and I think you make a good point about what Bob said about the second balls, or whatever you want to call it, 50-50 balls, all those moments. And I think what I was impressed with in New England was the fact that they really matched everything New England, every physical play, everything. And when you see second division versus first division, a lot of times you think the physicality, and Columbus's back line is a lot bigger than the Hounds. There were some things there, on the width. A lot of times the MLS teams can bring just faster players, more dynamic players, even their second line guys. But I in the last two matches against the MLS sides, I think the Hounds have been able to just match the play, whether it's physical, whether it's skill on a skill level. I mean, Danny Griffin was doing things on the ball. Robbie Mertz, of course, Kennardo Forbes comes in later, but they're doing things on the ball. I think some of these younger Columbus players were sort of
there was a confidence in their touches.
Absolutely.
Robbie would make a touch that kind of went 3/4 behind him to a player that he shouldn't have been able to see. That I think these younger Columbus players probably were a little nervous to try. So on to Cincinnati. That's where we're up to next, and it's a home game for Cincinnati. So that should be a tough one, considering the Hounds went in there last year in this almost identical situation.
Yes, and it'll be a tough go. But I mean, to get this far, to have this night for these fans here in Pittsburgh, soccer fans, and maybe, like Bob Lilly said, maybe we gained a few more fans, because that's really what the mission's been all about. Keep growing the game, keep growing this organization, take it to places it's never gone before. And again, tonight they've gone somewhere where they've never gone before, winning here at Highmark Stadium against an MLS team. Now they're in the quarterfinals, the round of 8. I mean, this is a national tournament. The final 8 teams, and the Pittsburgh Riverhounds are one of them.
Yeah,
you just can't beat that if you're in this city and you love soccer.
When I came to Pittsburgh, I think this stadium held 3,500. We've expanded to about 6,000. Tuffy, might be time to expand the stadium again.
Absolutely. Well, on that note, we're gonna wrap it up. That was our quick analysis. Mark Goodman, John Krasinski, Pittsburgh Soccer Now. Stay with us. Lots of coverage still coming after the match, and we'll be covering the Riverhounds all the way through the Open Cup run, and then of course against Loudoun United Sunday, and the league season for the rest of the way. All right. Have a good night, and thanks for joining us.